That's funny. All right. Sorry. I'm ready. I really am.
Flush.
Word of the day. Goal line. What's cracking, big dogs? This is the Fade the Public podcast. My name is Nicholas. His name is Animal. His name is Snacks. By birth. If you are listening via podcast, all of the audio is now on the Fade the Public podcast. That is its own podcast on iTunes, on Google, on Spotify, on Shopify, on Stitcher, on the radio, XM radio, MySpace, LinkedIn,
Don't forget MySpace.
Twitter. We didn't forget MySpace. We fucking just said it. So, this is a Fade the Public podcast. Make sure you are following all of us on the Twitter, as well as our editor, Scott, the chief video chopper. Today, we have just a wild, random slew of things to cover.
I'm just looking at these pictures and laughing.
The show sheet's a really fun one, so I'm not going to sit here and give you a table of contents. What we're going to do here is have Scott hit the motherfucking intro and get into it.
Alrighty, so it was a eventful weekend. There was some stuff going on fantasy Twitter and on Instagram. I'm sure most of you have seen it, and if not, you will get the pleasure to see it now. There's a trend going around with the NFL quarterbacks being transformed into women,
fine.
or some of them look pretty good. I was going to start off with my favorite one.
No.
Do you want to start off with your favorite one?
Is it Jimmy G?
Are we coming out the gate with Jimmy G?
Dude, he's fucking gorgeous.
He looks like he's probably 6'4", 6'7",
well,
a WNBA player.
Theoretically, half of these are over 6 foot, so they're all fought.
But none of them actually
They're all
look.
fought brutes. But listen, that face is. Matt, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, listen, here's the thing with Jimmy
First,
G.
he's a good-looking guy already.
I'm not sure they did that much to the picture other than just give him long hair and maybe throw on some mascara.
He's just a beautiful person.
You really trying to have sex with a girl that's got a thicker neck than you? That's my question.
They all.
No, they all. Most of them look like women.
That's a stretch.
I mean, not most. Definitely not most.
So you're number one on the number one hit list right now is Jimmy G.
I think Janny G is the hottest one on this list.
I think you can make the case for it. Definitely top 3. I don't know if it's my favorite. I'm a blonde guy personally. I like
All right.
blondes.
I think there's also different tiers. There's probably some hot. I think he's the only hot one. Then there's cute. There's some exotic, and then there's just some really butt fucking ugly.
Well, I wouldn't say that Jimmy G's the only hot one because
Dak Prescott's on
I was
this
going to
list.
say I know my man Nick has someone here who he's
Dak Prescott
keeping
looks
his eye on.
8 years old.
Dak Prescott's picture looks like every girl who's ever broken my heart in my life. I like the Spanish
maybe that's
girl.
a problem.
She's exotic. This is what Dak Prescott looks like if we found an alien species. What their females would be like.
The bangs on just don't work though.
Listen.
Whoa. Cut.
Keep that in there because that was
Yeah,
that was
my
that
bad.
was
I'm sorry.
stupid. That was sad.
It's a fucking Dallas Cowboy.
That's why you think she's ugly. You know she's fucking
just
hot.
looking at the jersey like, oh, it's so gross.
Dak.
You know the second ugliest on the next page is Tony fucking Romo.
Dak is so fucking hot. If you could even if you get bangs as a woman, this is just
And you could rock
facts.
them?
If you get bangs and you're even remotely good looking, that means you're probably a absolute smoke when you don't have bangs. So the fact that Dak comes in tan with I love the dirty blonde hair too, dark hair transitioning into dirty
don't know if
blonde.
you need that,
I
though.
couldn't name a better my type.
Listen. Well, yes.
I'm ready to risk it all. I'm ready to risk it all for Dak on
type
this
fine.
list, and this is easy.
Do you know there's a sneaky underrated one?
He's an alien, and I'm
Are we
into
thinking about
it.
the same person here?
I don't know.
Someone help me out here. Dak is an absolute smoker on this. Animal, you got to make sure
Danny
you can
football it doesn't count. He
keep
can't-
track
he
if
can't say.
can you see whether or not that thing's on?
No.
Love that.
All right, so you made it very clear you like Dak. You were getting to someone
I love
here.
No. I love Dak.
All right, so you love Dak.
I
You
don't
would
think we're
throw
thinking
it
of the
all away
same-
right now for Dak.
I don't think we're thinking the same one.
I was gonna go with our possibly someone that you like just in general as their normal person, Danielle Jones here.
It's Daniela Dimes, okay,
All right.
and she's adorable.
I look at her and I
Adorable.
think she's going to get in a race car and start dating Aaron Rodgers because it looks like Danica Patrick.
Who's a very good-looking woman.
That's why she's on my list right here, my man.
Hey, man. I will say, you made the point last night when we were talking about it. The body on Daniela Dimes does not match the face.
You gotta cover the shoulders.
Yeah. I was gonna say
it's very brute-like, and I think
some of them are tough to look at. Like Kyler Murray's face.
you guys are just trying to get the shit beat out of you by these women that you're picking.
Or no, here's
thick
the
neck,
next
thick
one.
shoulders.
No,
like,
the one I was thinking of is a little bitch in person and in this picture, but looks like Becky the Icebox O'Shea, Marcus Mariota, down here.
where's that? What
Adorable.
page?
First page. Adorable.
Marcus Mariota is
she's cute.
should be cuter. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to be into the Marcus Mariota one, but like, there's something about I think his
chin,
his
man.
like squinchy ass face. Like, I mean, it's the chin. The chin.
chin.
I
The
think
chin's
there's
like too thick.
I think there's a
It's
lot of sex appeal there.
It's a very broad.
A lot of
manly
sex
chin.
appeal.
Yeah, so it's basically Mariota is like if you took the hotness of Dak and then turned it down about halfway. That's what Mariota spits out. Actually, Jay Cutler kind of looks like a white, disgusting version of Dak with the bangs.
Cutler
See, that's what happens when bangs go wrong.
Yes.
Then you flip the next page when bangs go right.
Jeanette Cutler
looks
could
good.
not. No, stop. No.
looks like-
no.
like
Next thing
maybe
you're
like
gonna
a-
tell us is Andrew Luck looks attractive.
I feel like Jay Cutler's a little milfy, like maybe older woman.
Can
like,
get it. Looks like that if she shaved her pubes, she'd have a ton of red stubbles. all over
I
it.
cannot
She
get
doesn't know how to
behind the
shave
Jay.
them.
I cannot get behind the Jay Cutler. What about Peyton Manning? They did him no favors.
Looks like an old
Disgusting.
dick.
Just an ugly man.
He actually looks like a
forehead.
man. He actually looks like a 90-year-old man that sits on his stoop and like does, in a rocking chair, you know, like in fucking Nebraska or some shit.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I'm not down with that.
Your quarterback Drew Lock is a little cute.
I see
She looks
you
like
say that.
she looks like a party animal.
Not bad. Yeah, looks like someone who was probably real cute in
Yeah.
their like.
Yeah.
He looks like very just like a generic.
It's a she.
She looks like a generic woman, just plain, nothing special, not hot, not ugly, but you know, it's whatever.
Can we talk about Amy Schuminshu? Because that is just a disgusting fucking picture.
It's
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schuminshu, yeah.
Oh. Well, because I thought Amy Schumer looks exactly like Jared Goff here.
Where's Jared Goff? Oh yeah, yeah. I could see that a little bit too.
I think it, the
I also think Ryan Fitzpatrick is the third twin in White Chicks. The big white chick with that thick fucking jaw. That's it. It looks like a.
oh, it legitimately looks like white chicks.
It's ridiculous.
AJ McCarron is brutal looking. Imagine if he was as hot as his wife or his mother, for that matter.
I haven't seen either, but I'll
What?
trust your
Google
opinion.
now.
I'll trust your opinion. No, I actually wanted to. The guy we were talking about before we started, that I said, I can't believe you don't see this. Matt Ryan looks like Tyler. Looks like Aerosmith. Looks like Steven Tyler.
Wow. Okay.
Good
It's like
call.
almost identical.
Yeah, you're right.
I got
Right?
you. Yeah.
Now that you see it and I
Yeah.
say that, it's just like,
Yeah.
And he's even giving like a fucking nice little.
Like a rock star.
Yeah,
Like, what's up?
Yeah, going.
Dream on. Dream on.
If you go to the next page where Josh Allen is, going off of our last
Oh, my
TikTok,
gosh.
Josh Allen looks like Amanda Bynes, ate Amanda Bynes.
And Tua doesn't.
We thought Tua was just a staff for a girl that was. Like,
We were
trying to-
wondering why this girl was in the picture.
Yeah.
that's like too flawless of a
Yeah,
transition.
it's a little alarming, to be
That's,
honest.
that's like a real girl from a yearbook.
And they ask like, are redheads attracted to redheads? I want you to look at Sam Darnold. The answer is no, at all. That is a hideous looking woman.
But I mean,
Samantha Darnold looks terrible.
no, there's no. I
She
agree.
smokes Marlboro Red Hundreds and crack.
Dude, I don't know. Like, if you look at Joe Burrow, it looks like a chick that just got arrested for possession of crack, and that's her mugshot.
Yeah, but she's like a cute ass mugshot.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little less crackheady,
She
but
gets prettier the longer you look at
If
her.
Joe Exotic had a daughter, that's
Like seriously, look
Josephine
at her.
Burrow.
Get a little closer and look. She gets prettier. She's just like a hot blonde.
good. I'm good. That's a pass for me. We're gonna pass there.
That's a no for me, dog.
That's not attractive.
One more that we.
Kristen Stewart, David Carr, Derek Carr.
Yeah, I
David
was
Carr
gonna-
looks goth.
I was gonna throw out there Big Ben because not for looks for beauty, but for the opposite end here.
Ugliest person on this list has to be Big Ben.
I think Sam Darnold might be the ugliest.
I do too.
But Big Ben looks like literally every like
Sam Darnold looks
mom
so
you
bad.
see like shopping at like the grocery store. It just looks like a mom.
Listen,
when you were growing up, like your friend's mom that fucking would make you grilled
That makes you
cheese.
like pizza bagels and
Yeah.
shit. Like, come on, honey.
Yeah.
All the kids
Come
eat.
inside, boys. The pizza bagels are
Never, ever, ever hit a woman ever under any circumstance. But Matt Stafford makes me want to fucking hit her so bad.
Where's Stafford?
Oh, dude, that's what I was saying before. Stafford just looks like a...
Why? Stafford just looks like a really nice lady.
It looks like the girl you see in the library with the big backpack. And
She
all
looks
the
like she
books.
makes YouTube videos about
Wears
how to bake a
blue,
cake.
The light blue blouse with like a bow.
Too
That's
happy.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
Too happy.
That's ridiculous. I
Too
don't
happy.
really appreciate.
What about Jameis Oprah Winfrey or Teddy Oprah Winfrey Bridgewater?
I would vote for Jameis Winston as a candidate for mayor. It really strikes me like we don't see the hand, but I imagine the rest of the picture is like this. Like,
Jameis literally looks like any like WNBA player.
yeah.
Looks like a real WNBA player. If you told me that,
Andrew Luck actually might be the ugliest one on this list.
And you know what? It's scary. That's like
Like the
insidious.
face was already ugly, and then they threw on like that nasty curly ass hair, and
They didn't do him right. But then again, he's not.
He
He's not an
retired. Fuck
attractive
that.
person.
yeah, you're right. He's actually might be even worse
yeah, I was gonna
as
say,
a guy.
Andrew Luck
You're right.
never really had a good shot to begin with. So,
True.
lastly, I feel like we should just end with the most beautiful one. And
You want to
for
talk?
me-
You want to start where we ended it again, Dak?
No.
You want to end where we started?
We didn't bring her up.
Patricia Mahomes.
No, Patricia Mahomes is a little smoky. But I'm trying to think of a girl name for Ryan.
That's such a
But I feel
ratchet
like
haircut.
Ryan works.
For what?
Ryan's a girl's name.
Ryan's a girl's name. So Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, this is embarrassing,
Dude.
This is embarrassing.
Smoke.
She's cute. It's
No
just,
way.
It's just the opposite of a girl that I'm attracted to. Pale and blonde is just not me.
I don't think there's any cuteness in her at all. And the flannel, it's like it ruins it.
I'm really surprised you say
Even
that.
a low cut flannel.
I'm surprised you don't like her.
I don't like.
She reminds me of a girl kind of that we. Not really. I'm not.
That we
even
what?
going
You
to-
guys like double teamed or something? Where are you going there?
We do that.
No, I would never cross swords with snacks
Why? Fun time.
because I'd pick up some kind of venereal disease.
That's a ridiculous statement. I had cancer 10 years ago.
It's not the disease I was referring to.
No, I'm as clean as a whistle.
Yeah, it's because you don't. Cause
My
you're,
feet
'cause
smell
you're
like
a
shit,
virgin.
but I'm clean as a whistle.
We are very aware of your smelly ass feet.
Yeah.
They bitch about smelly feet. We're men.
Listen,
We're men.
That's
played
not.
a game of
It's
Madden
2020.
last night.
It's not. It's not. Okay.
and as I was rushing for the winning touchdown. I got a whiff of some terrible ass feet,
And that's
I
why
just
he said that,
fucking
man.
Flicked the controller a little bit and went left and ran out on the 1 yard line and lost the Madden game because of your smelly feet.
Like that's just the most absurd.
That's exactly
statement.
how it happened. Am I right?
No,
Nick,
because
you were right there. I need you to vouch for me.
you
on
literally
this.
said word for word. Well, I'm trying to run out the clock.
All right, here's the deal then. Just
Why don't you just quickly, briefly explain what happened?
were his feet smelly?
Not last night, no.
These are two exclusive conversations.
Okay, but last night I could tell you my feet were not smelly.
Terrible, smelly feet, but your collapse had nothing to do with the feet.
Dog, he put the team on his back. Dog, let's go inside the mind of a Greg Jennings.
All right, Animals chugging down the field. You don't give a fuck about the clock. Because the clock is...
Damn, baby, where's you going, baby?
why the fuck would you run out of bounds if you stop there to milk the clock? I don't know. Here comes the marijuana creeping into Animal's head. Animal goes out of the one instead of scoring to milk the clock, but he goes out of bounds. And then he calls his own timeout.
Now here's Pollard. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge.
Stacked again.
This is 3rd and goal. Here's Elliott. And boy, he is very close to
Oh!
from where they're spotting that
4th and goal on the 1. This is football. Oh, the fullback sneak with Mike Allstott jersey on, and he does not convert. Oh! Woo! I thought that was getting in for sure. Animal. Remember when you went out of bounds at the 1 yard line? I'm old enough to remember that.
I completely agree.
still churning.
Take it to the crib! The spread was -8.5, by the way. And Snacks covers for his boys.
I was so close. And then I called that timeout. I thought Zeke was going to come back in the game. It was still Tony Pollard. Devastated.
I didn't.
Your
need that
collapse was
second
disgusting.
part.
We're not even going to get into Madden.
Just wanted to
No,
know about.
it's embarrassing.
the
I'm
feet.
done. Dak, if you would risk it all for Dak, drop a comment.
Yeah, I would love to hear in the comments who you find
Hottest,
the sexiest.
ugliest, and most underrated.
I have a quick question though
Okay,
before we
okay.
leave this outstanding topic. Why did they do Sam Darnold like so bad with the red hair and make Carson Wentz a full-blown Bond?
I mean, Carson Wentz is disgusting.
I never said he was an attractive male, but it's not even resemblance of red hair. He has red hair.
I mean, it's pretty red.
What? Am I colorblind?
It's red. That's like strawberry blonde red.
No, that's blonde.
That's blonde.
That's more blonde. It's red and blonde, but it's more blonde than red.
It should not. Okay, my point is, it should not be even remotely close to that blonde.
I think Darnold's hair is more orange than Wentz's is.
For sure. But Wentz has orange hair.
Yeah, Wentz doesn't. Yeah, if we saw that color hair on top of Wentz's actual head, we'd be like, that's not Carson Wentz.
No.
So honestly, everyone sucks on this list except
Lamar
for Dak.
Jackson. They really couldn't do anything with his eyes. They had to put glasses on him.
All right, regression. Regression. This is a word that is
You're gonna get me fucking
thrown around a lot in the fantasy community, in the fantasy universe, and it's something that we want to talk about a little bit here. Regression. What is it?
What is regression? It's what fucking fraud farce analysis use.
Go off, King.
As fantasy in fantasy football research. Because here's the fucking problem with the regression. When you say regression on one thing, right? We only look at the most polarizing stats when we talk about regression, right? We automatically look at touchdown number that someone hit. That we're like, that has to regress. There are multiple problems with this fucking argument. One is that if you're going to just look at one statistic with regression, you have to look at all of them. Because if someone has really high volume in terms of like their touchdown rate, that also means that their rate is really high because they had low volume. So if they were so good the year prior, wouldn't that mean that the volume would go up the following year? You have to look at regression everywhere. The other thing is, with a 16-game fucking sample size in the NFL, that's way too small to actually come to a conclusion on numbers. So when you look at like NBA or MLB, they're 5 and 10 times the size number of games. So we have way more data for things where like a defender slips and falls, someone runs for 80 yards, that skews the entirety of someone's statistics.
That outlier right there.
That could be like 10% of your rushing yardage total off one play over the course of 82 games, NBA, or 5-year sample size. Like that shit works itself out. So regression is a fucking terrible argument. I rest my case.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say something along those lines, but I think you said it a lot better than I would have. So be careful when you hear the term regression and you see all these stats about like guys who are going to have positive regression. And
it's a very go-to line for a lot of people. That
it's not a reason to. I think the overall thing is like it's not a reason to fade a player. Just because someone was really good last year and their numbers are going to regress, like Aaron Jones won't run for 16 touchdowns. Right. That doesn't mean that he still can't be a top 12 running back, and you still don't like you don't just fade a player because someone says that he's going to regress, like Lamar Jackson.
Other ways to get to that place that he was before. He doesn't have to do it through 16 touchdowns. No. He can have more receptions. He can have more receiving yards. He can. There's too many variables in a sport like football where there's too many guys on the field versus like NBA. You have 5 guys on your team on the court at basically all times. Yeah. Versus the NFL.
For 16 games.
Is there an example where there wouldn't be 5 guys on the court for each team in the NBA?
That's a great question.
If enough guys foul out and a couple get ejected, you're going to have to play with 4. You got no choice.
I was going to say you'd have to have, what, is it 13 on a roster?
12.
12, so you'd have to have 7 guys.
No, you have to
foul out.
Yeah, you have to have 8 guys.
8 guys foul out. Math, you put me on the spot with math, and I don't appreciate
also, still wrong because 13 minus 8 is still 5. So 9 guys.
So who got it wrong?
No.
Both of you, I think.
No, well, you said 13 guys. I said 12. So it wouldn't be 7 because that would still be 5. It would have to be 8. 8 guys. 12 minus 8 is 4.
So you did, depending on what the number of players on the roster were.
That was where the argument, yes.
Yeah. So you guys differed on the number of total rosters. Your math was probably wrong regardless of what the roster
were. I can't do simple subtraction, so
okay.
I didn't get that right.
So any other points for regression?
Just be careful. Don't take it. Don't look at it as like the end all be all stat. Like, oh, this guy's going to regress. I got to stay away from him. Just look at the points per game. I think is like a. No, we're going off topic there. Points per game is probably one of the most
it's like Lamar Jackson's points per game regressed. Does that mean he won't be quarterback 1 next year? Probably not. I still take him over the field to be the quarterback 1 next year.
Like, perfect example. Christian McCaffrey's points per game was what, like 27?
It was the highest of all time.
He's going to regress, but guess what? He could still have 24 points per game, still be the leader, still be the RB1.
You could still be. He could have 4 points per game less, and I'm still taking him as the RB1.
Is he going to regress?
Probably not. He's probably going to go fucking higher. It's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. But I think Aaron Jones is kind of the perfect example because that 16 touchdowns is such a beast. But he, like you said, he could easily be top 12 running back.
Why does he have to regress efficiency-wise?
Right.
He's been one of the best goal line runners over the last 3 years, and it's a 16-game sample. So what if like the next 4 games, that number, because it's such a small sample, goes up to like 22% touchdown rate, which is ridiculous. But over a 4-game span, that shit could happen, and that boosts his overall season-long total. But over 82 games, 160 games, that shit will flatline itself, like me killing Stacks.
See,
Oh shit! Speaking of killing, I was gonna transition into Corona. It's kind of like maybe.
Is
that like too dark? Let's go with it.
Pretty morbid.
Speaking
though.
of killing,
the energy you went into it with
was great. And you should have just went with it.
No,
You
Scott,
shoulda
leave
just
all
went
this.
with
Don't
it.
cut anything out. Speaking of killing, let's talk about COVID, because we also have some concerns here. We haven't really discussed this and whether or not we actually think there's going to be an NFL season. We do all this talk about fantasy football and everything, but
With no
how do we
clear-
really feel? Because I'll tell you what, I 100%, I'm not worried about there being a season. I think we're 100% having an NFL season with games. Not worried about fans, but games are happening. NFL is too big to fail.
Well, let's put some context behind why we're talking about it right now, right? We're like 4 months into this shit. We want to talk about it right now because over the last, if you're not on Twitter, then you might not have been seeing a lot of the shit going on. But over the last week, there have been tons of reports, tons of athletes, college football players,
just got hit.
MLB players, NFL players. Yeah, like Tampa Bay is saying a couple of their players. So it's starting to hit the athletes now. Maybe it has been hitting them and they haven't been reporting them, but now that all the teams are back together, it's starting to hit a bunch of the athletes. So more people are opening their eyes like, oh shit, maybe there is more of a problem here than we think. My initial thoughts haven't wavered because my initial thoughts were that we weren't going to play any other team sports besides football. I never thought college football was going to be played because there's so much more that goes into college running itself than an NFL team, right? NFL teams have more players, but college, you need to open up the fucking campus for thousands and thousands of kids. So I never, the fact that all these college players are, it doesn't waver because my expectations, I think we're in the right place from the start. So okay, percentage-wise, NFL regular season happens this year, maybe 12 games, whatever it is. 100%?
yes.
70. I just am growing more concerned by the day. Like, I know what your point is. It's too much of a beast. There's too much money, and I get all that. Where we're trending right now, what are the two states that are getting absolutely assaulted with this? Florida and Texas. That's 5 teams right off the bat. We're in a good spot right now in New York City and New Jersey where everything is starting to die down a little bit, which is great, but there's the rest of the country too. I am of the belief that seeing all these positive tests come back from NFL players, like college, I guess.
College is even more difficult because they have nothing to play for.
Exactly.
It's not like their family's money
Right.
is on the line,
Right.
I mean,
like providing.
Yeah, the only difference is like you're talking about if they want to go into the NFL, how do we figure out? Like,
Yes.
drafts,
Which is
stuff
also
like
a
that?
very, very small percentage of college players too,
Yeah.
which is
Correct.
why it's even less likely.
Correct. At the end of the day, like I said, 70% because I do think it's too much of a beast, and I think the NFL was lucky that this whole thing really started in March, months and months before, and that's why
It couldn't have been better timing.
No, it
for
could
NFL.
not have been, and that's why I never really worried because there was so much time. Like, all right, I'm a pretty stupid person, so I figured a lot of this would be better. But is it really any better? I don't think so. I think once camp starts and you start seeing outbreaks from players, what are they realistically going to do? Because then everybody's got to quarantine for 2 weeks, so you're missing practice time. You go into the regular season.
What'll be crazy? Yeah, what'll be crazy?
Starting
is
quarterback goes down. Lamar Jackson goes down. That's 2 weeks. The Ravens go 0-2 those 2 weeks. Then how many other
Things
players
get dicey,
tracked?
yeah.
It's just I think there's a very fine line. I pray to God. I'm at the point where I told you I was going to be just devastated with no fans. I don't care if there's no fans, whatever.
Oh, that was my other thing. People were really thinking there was going to be fans. I thought that was an ignorant take
no.
from the start. I never expected there to be fans.
My point was I think what they would do was, I guess being a Giant fan, I know the season ticket holders probably could fill up 20% of the stadium, if not more. I
Is
thought
that
maybe,
really season ticket holders 20%?
There's so many, yeah. That's why I thought maybe you could do something like that where it's 6 seats apart or something, and you have people there. Because I think I'm of the belief that football is the only sport that I don't want to say needs fans, but will be very, very detrimental to the sport without them. Because
What do you think would be the biggest impacts of not having fans on the field?
I think players' adrenaline.
Yeah.
Obviously, you go up against each other in practice, but with the rules nowadays, you're not really hitting like you were, and you're not tackling like you were. You get this kind of rage of emotion when fans are screaming defense and all this shit. What are you playing for when there's just dead nothing sound? I think the
agree.
human body, the human element, the human
I think it'll
adrenaline
get
of
chippy
an
as
NFL
fuck.
player.
I think it'll get a lot more chippy because it's very
for
personal
sure,
at
but
that point.
that
You
could be
only hear the
that
person.
could be a problem.
Yeah.
See, I think once the ball is snapped, they say hike, it's going to be back in business as usual. They're
Could be some
Professionals.
like gym class hero action where like
These
the
are
guys who ball out in
professionals.
practice do
Yeah,
it again on the
I
NFL
think you're going to
field
see
and
a
not in
lot
front
more
of the
like
fans.
7-on-7 type slinging.
Right.
This could be
exactly,
like
yeah.
it could be a great opportunity for those guys to break out. You know, those guys that maybe they're nervous when they're in front of a whole stadium, and now they don't have the less pressure. Who knows?
This is going to be the
Obviously,
weirdest
Barry.
year, too.
guess.
And also, like, guys who haven't been training with the team and stuff are going to come in probably out of shape, a lot worse shape. So, like,
Yeah.
you might have backups that are in good shape now competing because the other guys can't stay on the field and shit. So, things are-
We're going to learn a lot in about a month. Yeah, about a month when training camp starts opening. If they're getting like a week or two into it and everything's like really okay and no one's really testing positive and they're practicing their social distance, they're wearing their mask outside, I think
the
I think
real
it'll be all
tough
right.
thing for the real
training
tough
camp is
thing-
going to be a true bar of how I think the season's going to go.
the tough thing is, like, you want to say, oh, just put everybody in a bubble. But, dude, teams are so big.
You can't.
It's not like NBA where it
You
really
can't
is
do a
like
bubble.
12 dudes, you know, and
you
and
could
a couple
go. You
guys
could
on
go
the
to
team.
Disney World and they could
You
be
need,
isolated
like,
there.
Multiple hotels. You can like probably fit all of the NBA in one hotel. But like the NFL,
It's
you're
too
not
many
gonna-
people.
You're
Yeah.
talking about
You would need to have like
60,
5 or
70
6
plus people a
isolated
team.
spots that they
Minimum.
incumbent. You know what I mean? Like that's
There's going to be someone to traveling. It's going to be very, very, very difficult.
So something that you were mentioning before training camp, Hard Knocks is set to premiere August 11th for the first time. I don't know if it's actually the first time ever, but
yeah,
two teams. So coronavirus is going on. There's all these concerns about whether or not we're going to even have a season and being in contact. Well, let's bring in full camera crews and do it for 2 teams.
Yeah.
I
don't do one. Do 2.
Like, I don't get the thinking behind this, especially like LA. Like, you're going to LA now too, like a very populated city.
This just seems like the NFL's continued prevalence to, at all costs, not waver. I don't know if
Yeah.
it, because like from the
sure.
start, they're like, we're releasing our schedule today. We are not moving the NFL draft. We are going on as if everything is okay.
That's the powerhouse they are, but
And I'm wondering if like this is all still just a show to keep, you know, sponsors in check, to keep hope up, like, because there's no fucking way that you could reasonably project yourself to be having this Hard Knock season for
No.
August 11th.
No.
It makes no fucking sense.
barely even know if there's a training camp, but yet they still coming out and saying we got Hard Knocks, not 1 team, 2 teams.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why didn't they just fucking go to like Minnesota and like go to a like or like not like
They're a playoff team. Can't.
Well, they have to agree to it. I thought.
No, if you're a playoff team.
Playoff
you know,
team or I think new quarterback,
new
right?
coach,
Or
new
rookie
coach,
quarterback.
rookie,
Okay.
first year head coach or a playoff team.
Okay.
All
So
right.
regardless, though,
Well, you're
like
going to LA. It's one of the most populated places in the country, and now you're going to do it with 2 teams. You're going to bring an extra camera crew. You got 2 camera crews now. I just have so many questions.
do they have training camp at the same place? Those 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm assuming they will, but then again,
How are they going to do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they're not doing any intra-team practices, I think.
Yeah,
for the
no,
entire
they
summer.
do,
already
yeah,
canceled
they do,
that.
It just
yeah.
seems like it's in such a questionable time for sports and everything going on.
Just
You're
a
going to try and do extra now?
Well,
Like, why?
you still got a month to figure that out. I think just to keep, like, kind of what Nick was saying, like they're not wavering in any way, trying to keep their normalcy on and like not strike fear, like my fear that we might not have a season. So, we're having Hard Knocks here, take it. Obviously, there's still got to be a lot of details to figure out, but
I'm just very interested in how it's going to turn out. I guess we'll tune in August 11th and see. I guess that could kind of be like I don't know, like a precursor almost to how operations will be held, because like they're going to have to figure out how they're going to film this, and like that shit's filmed on a weekly basis. They film it that week.
day,
They put the
yeah.
episode out. Like, so it's going to have to be quick turnaround. I don't know. I'm very
what happens when a camera crew member tests positive and now like team members get it from them? Like that's gonna be a huge problem.
like if no one on the team had it other than like a camera guy that brought it in,
God.
it's a huge problem.
God.
Yeah.
Because then these guys were going to be saying like, I would have
the
never
number of
gotten it.
the number of tests they're gonna have to do just to make Hard Knocks happen for COVID is gonna be out of control.
Which I mean, the testing and
By the way, I want to throw this in there. I got tested last week. I told you guys, and I tweeted this out. The nasal test is the most fucked up thing.
Terrible, right?
It didn't hurt. Like I said, it literally they stick this.
was it a little tickle? Tickle?
It wasn't a little tickle. It was like
It goes like in the it's like deep throating up your nose.
Well, I mean,
it tickled so bad that you immediately start crying. You like it's just like downpouring tears, but it was like like the face I made. I don't. I would have been the ugliest woman on that quarterback. I wish there was a camera like filming me getting that fucking thing stuck up my
you should have
nose.
done it, man. I think KFC when
You
he
think
went,
I, like,
he-
vlog- I
he
should have
did it.
vlogged
He
it?
vlogged
Yeah.
like when he went like early. Corona.
Yeah, this was like late March.
He was like one of the first people to be publicly tested like on the on the internet, because like he did it before the news. And like shit like that.
That's the thing, though. I know testing is kind of scarce for most of us civilians, but the NFL has so much fucking money that testing for them shouldn't be a problem.
I'm not worried about them with testing. I'm just worried about actual procedures and
Do you think like bringing something up like a Lamar Jackson, knock on wood, or a top player, if they test positive, season's on, they're like week 14 and they this is like a must-win game?
Oh, like, does the team sweep it under the rug?
That's a good question.
I mean,
Because if that's the case, if they get caught doing that, anything that's ever happened to the cheating Patriots is going to look like nothing.
well, the problem with that is that's like borderline criminal because you're
100%,
putting other people
I know.
in danger if you know.
It's got to have
you're
like HIPAA
sick.
laws or some shit.
Well, I mean,
everything.
cheating in the NFL's, I mean, when you think about it, it is criminal because the amount of money that would switch hands. But, like,
Right.
yeah, this is like life or
This is
death
huge.
kind of.
This is
That's
like
a good
nothing
question.
we've
They
ever
probably
seen
will
before.
do that shit.
100%.
I mean,
you mean to tell me if the Cowboys need to win Week 17, right? And Dak Prescott or Zeke, well, Zeke already had it, but say Dak Prescott
Stop
tests
making
positive.
me think about Dak.
Dak
about to start texting
tests
all my exes.
Well, I guess they have Andy Dalton. Dak and Andy Dalton test positive. You really think Jerry Jones is not going to let them play if they like feeling fine?
Here's the problem.
If
I
they're
feel
not on
like
their
if
deathbed,
their test-
Jerry Jones.
Here's the problem.
Scum
I
of the
don't
earth.
think it's going to be like Jerry Jones is going to be the only one that sees a test and be like, oh, he's
Of course not, but
positive.
of course not. But
I
he's
mean,
gonna
what do you
have-
think has happened
He's
with
going to have the
concussions?
pocket. How do you think they pay all these guys? You don't
It's
think
gonna
that's all
be
under the books?
Like an NFL staffer that's gonna be like, oh, he tested positive. I let Goodell know. I let the league know. Like now he's quarantined for 2 weeks. Boom. Like they're not gonna be like, oh, hey Jerry, like 20 grand. I won't say anything.
I can promise you, Jerry Jones is staring right at those fucking tests when all of his players are getting it.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the power to hide them.
I think you're failing
What
to
do you
realize
think happens
the power
with
of Jerry
concussions?
Jones.
Like when a guy gets a
It's
concussion.
different. It's not like a pandemic type of thing. We're
But
talking
it's
about-
also pretty much a life or death thing. You get hit the wrong way playing with a concussion,
And
you
going
could
back in
easily
there?
die.
Yeah, but concussion is another. It's something that like you can diagnose it, yes, but it's not like
You
on
could
a
also
paper
the
on a
player
test.
the player could theoretically say I am
Exactly.
very
But
much
oh, no,
fine.
I'm fine. Versus like,
I know
no,
what you're
I
saying.
don't have corona.
There's
And they're
no
like,
I
yeah,
think
you do.
I
there's
think
no
in
red
that-
button that says you have a concussion.
I think
know
in
what you're
that
saying, yes.
situation, though, like I could near the playoffs or something, I could see it happening. That would be fucking
It would be insane.
awesome.
Well, it would be wild if they even just like someone happens like a playoff team and their star quarterback.
Did you
can't
see
play.
Did you see the face masks that are
Yeah,
the
that,
helmets?
that'll never happen.
There's
They look
no
like
way.
never happened.
motocross like
They look like
fucking-
pretty badass, but yeah, they do look like motor.
It looks like
you
Justin
never-
Tuck's old
you
face.
Can't
man.
use that.
This also like what, that's not like the only if they're tackling each other and they're in the scrum, they
It's-
think
I know.
that's going to
Stupid.
protect them.
Because
You're
there's,
also-
like sweat and everything else that goes into
Real
it.
quick, you're also I think you're gonna know if teams and owners and whatnot are throwing things under the table if we're in like week 5 and no one's tested positive because that's just gonna be an impossibility.
Yeah. It's like too good to be
it's
true.
too good to be true. There's no way.
Everyone's 100% healthy.
Yeah.
The plan
Yeah.
is working.
Yeah,
We have killed
and
COVID.
I have black hair and I'm jacked, so no, it's just not gonna happen.
Love that.
Stop that.
Well, my first cycle of steroids start next week, so
Yeah,
Dude, we
why?
got to get them. If
doing
anyone
it.
out
what
there,
do you mean why? Fuck it.
where'd you get them from?
I got a guy.
You know a guy.
Can you get them for everyone?
I mean, yeah.
How much you got to pay?
I haven't paid yet.
Let me ask you a question.
I'll let you know.
If you took enough steroids, do you think you'd be strong enough to take a sucker punch?
No.
I don't think that matters. you don't put muscle on your jaw.
First of all, have you ever seen that Jazzercise thing on fucking Instagram?
Yeah, because it gets suckers like you to buy it because they're good at marketing.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Jazzercise, man.
I can't wait till you get fucking zoomed
Dude, those
in.
guys'
for there.
jaws are jacked. Anyway,
Fuck that.
I'm assuming most of us have seen it. If not, Scott, hopefully you can put this clip in.
I have no
The,
comment on this, by the way.
I want your comment on this. This is the Dallas Goedert sucker punch.
There's an NFL player do it right there in the boop. Dunzo.
Elaboration here. Sucker punch. Is it the guy? Who's the sucker? Is it Dallas Goedert getting punched the sucker, or the guy throwing the punch the sucker?
Well, it's not you're not calling someone a sucker puncher. You're just calling the punch itself a sucker because it's
So it's the punch itself.
the person that throws it is a sucker.
You're
for
not
throwing
getting.
it.
Yes.
If I'm sucker punching you, I'm not getting
The
labeled.
punch
sucker.
is
You're not
being
getting
delivered
sucker
by the
either.
cunt by the sucker.
Yes.
You get
Because it's a
sucker punch, or you give a sucker punch.
And
right?
this
It's the punch itself.
This was a,
I might sucker punch
This one
you
was crazy.
tonight.
I'll fucking eat that shit.
This is almost hard to
Have
watch.
you been working out your jaw? Yeah, he got.
I feel bad for that. Like in Philadelphia Eagle, no, I don't care. Like this is really bad.
Let me ask you: I hate when people call a punch a sucker punch when people are, when people are like face. You ever seen like videos like face to face and one guy throws the fight didn't officially start, but he throws the first punch.
Yeah.
Like talking shit face to face. Like, oh, he threw a sucker punch. I'm
It's
like,
not a sucker
it's not
punch.
A fucking
you
sucker
just didn't
punch.
have reflexes to get out of
Right.
the way of the first punch.
If you're
Sucker
face to
punch-
face with someone talking shit and you get punched, that's
And it's always a go-to thing. Like if you're getting punched and you can't get back, sucker punch is the easiest way to say.
But
it.
Dallas Goedert absolutely.
This is
That's a straight
sucker
up sucker
punch.
punch. He
This is
wasn't
sucker
like
punch.
looking and just.
In the boop. Dunzo.
1 to 10, 13 sucker punch. Yeah,
Just
it was
get
out of control.
He was knocked out.
Dude, big tree fall hard, man. That's
I really wish we knew who threw the punch. I want to see the bio of this guy because to come at Dallas Goedert, 6'5", 250, you know it.
Balls.
Because
you
if you don't crack him, if you don't knock him out, you're dead.
I think it came out who punched him.
I mean, just looking at the video, the guy
he's not small, dude.
he doesn't look like he's that small, but
Nah, you tell he just.
it's a really shitty video.
It's just a good. You could tell he's thrown a few punches before. He comes in and fucking clocks him.
and the
Kyle
thing with that
Douglas
is-
Hadala.
Oh, you got him?
Hadala?
Yeah. I don't know if there's a picture of him though. Why was Dallas Goedert in South Dakota? Who the fuck?
I think he went to school there. No? He's
Yeah,
probably
I mean,
from
but
there.
still, I would still try and get away from that as long as possible.
What do you think the reason was? You think it was a guy who owns Zach Ertz in fantasy? He's like, I got a dynasty
Or maybe-
startup. Tight end premium dynasty startup.
Maybe it was a Giant fan. He's seen what tight ends do to the Giants over the
Is
last
this him,
decade.
Wild Lexus?
I don't know. It just says Kyle Douglas Hadala.
That's not him.
I think we can go off that. Best reasons for Goddard to get fucking sucker punched.
Yeah. Car salesman, huh?
Maybe Dallas Goedert came in to buy a car with his NFL money
And didn't.
and then was like, nah.
Wait, what?
Or no, I think I get what you're trying to say. He went into this guy's car dealership, right? And this guy was probably talking.
That was at a car dealership?
No. But he's a car salesman. The guy who punched him. No, it looks like it's at a bar. It looks like it's at a bar. No.
Does it look like the dude he's talking to first? It looks like he's kind of talking shit to the guy first, or not? He's backing him up, like, and that was his friend coming in.
There was definitely an argument going on. Oh
Yeah.
wow, yeah. He got rocked.
In a boot. Dunzo.
Max, I think you were onto something here.
Like the dude who's in his
I
face
really
is
do.
big. The dude who's in his face is big, and then Goddard pushes him back, and then the dude's friend.
And then
they're all about as tall as Goddard.
Yeah,
oh my
they're
God.
all big dudes. And then there's a Buddy Garrity lookalike.
That looks like what I did
to
to Snacks back in 11th grade. You remember that? The fuck? He stole my chicken fingers. Last chicken fingers online in lunch.
When you guys were in 11th grade, I was in college.
No, when you were in 11th grade.
Oh.
So I was in 9th grade, and I smacked the fuck out of Snacks.
Yeah, it wasn't
high school lunch.
It wasn't the first or last time. I'll tell you
Well,
that.
anyway, here's what I think happened. I think Dallas Goedert went in to buy a Lexus RX 350 2020. He was saying, like, yeah, this is the car I want to buy. And then he's like, I'll be back later this afternoon. And he never came back. And
Now-
this guy went and saw him at the restaurant and said, hey, Dallas, you never got the car.
I don't
And
think
he's
that's
like,
what happened.
And then he went, bam!
I think you're onto something, but I don't think that's what happened. I think he went in and Kyle Douglas Hadala was the one that was selling him the car, and then Goddard's like, you know what? I just don't know if I like this guy. So he went to a different salesman and bought the car from that guy. So Kyle Douglas Hadala missed out on a big paycheck, a big commission, whatever you call them in car sales.
Commission, yes.
Boom. Nailed him.
Okay.
Can we also low-key talk about the fact that the video that first broke from at Sam Stompy was the dude who won the Scott Fish Bowl?
Was it? Oh, Stompy.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Speaking of the Scott Fish Bowl, we're all in it, right?
We are.
We are.
Us are in it. I think Mike's in it. I want to say
I
Noah
was
might be
gonna
in
wait.
it too.
I want to wait for my division to be like all our divisions to be finished, so we can go through like who's in them and stuff.
It starts in if you guys don't know, it's like the biggest fantasy football league in the industry. Basically, 1,200 people, some analysts, some guests. Scott Fish puts it together. Crazy scoring. It's a slow draft, and it kicks off. It kicks off. Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. It kicks off. I think July 6th or something like that. So
And it goes to like week 1.
we'll keep basically, yeah, we'll keep y'all informed on when that shit starts up.
What division are you guys?
Pokemon, baby.
Ooh.
I got the GOAT.
I don't
That's
know.
a good one.
How do I check? I don't know.
I literally sent the link and directions.
Just a
how to
trash
do it.
human at this point.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked. It's
No, but I
fucking
have
charity.
I have
man.
checked.
It's for charity, dude.
charity.
I'll never
Did you
forget.
buy- did
It's
you
for
buy
the
a shirt?
kids. It's for the kids.
Do you remember when I tweeted out something last year about it and like people started going off about me?
Oh,
I tweeted
yeah,
out
yeah.
something like, I forget what it was. It was just basically making fun of people who just like keep posting gifs of their players that they drafted. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're all the most unoriginal motherfuckers ever. People are like, it's for charity.
Yeah.
It's why we do it. We do
I
a
remember
fucking
that.
hashtag. I was like,
Because
fuck.
everyone was posting like their pick from the Scott Fish.
Yo,
Bowl,
I
so
should.
it
You
was
know what
like-
I should have done? You know what I really should have done? I should have donated 5 G's to Fantasy Care and just dropped a screenshot of it and been like, bitch, say something. Say something.
You know what I want.
Bitch, you know what I want?
Skirt.
Oh,
Oh, he did
Way
it.
to fucking do it. Love
holy
it.
shit!
Skirt.
All right, snacks.
Snack said skirt for the first time ever this morning.
I
and
did.
Now he can't stop.
Skirt. No, I can't.
Jesus Christ! I gotta drive home with him later. It's gonna be
You'll be skirting all over the road. All right. Is that all we got today?
We could talk about the fighter, if you guys wanted to. If not, I don't know if there's any MMA fight fans out there. Max Roshkoff got his first professional MMA fight in the UFC and quit.
Come on.
Did you watch the video?
Put more context to it, though.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't just say he quit. There was
So
a
what
big
happened was-
back and forth.
All right, we got this, champ. Call it. Listen. Huh? Call it. You're gonna beat this guy, Max. We got this. You can beat this guy. Listen, listen.
Rob,
No, we got this, Max. Okay, stop it. We got this. Okay, breathe. Okay, catch your breath.
No.
We're gonna beat this guy. Keep it on your feet. You're gonna clinch.
No, call it. Call it.
You sure you're gonna lose, Max?
Yeah.
We got
I
this,
don't want
Max.
to do this anymore.
No, we got this, Max.
No, I don't.
You're a champion.
I don't have it.
You're a champion. Stop it.
I don't have it.
Stop it. You're a champion. You're a champion. We're gonna keep clinch. Finish this round on top of it and win the decision. Okay? Get on top of him. Out wrestle him. We got this.
Let's go.
One good one right here. You can't. You want to fight or not?
He wants to call it.
He wants to call it.
So
Because when the audience listens, you said he got his first fight and he quit. Does that mean he quit before he got into the ring?
So
Did he
got
quit
into
2
the
weeks?
ring. He was fighting. He was getting beat up, and he went to his corner in between rounds, and he told his trainer, "I'm done." He said, "I'm done. I want to call it. I can't do it." And his trainer said to him, "Like, listen, Max, you got this. Take a deep breath. We'll come back in. You wrestle.
Did that inspire you when he was like, Max, you got this?
You're gonna beat this guy, Max. We got this.
His name was Max?
Yeah.
No wonder he's a
Personally.
fucking quitter.
Oh, that's so hard to hear.
So hard to argue.
But we were talking about it last night, and he definitely went in there as his first fight. He was completely overwhelmed.
Listen, so here's some things that you should know.
Then just get knocked the fuck
He
out.
took the fight on short notice, so he was definitely not conditioned well enough.
You couldn't
But-
say this all before you said he quit.
But here's the problem, and here's what I believe people aren't missing, because the comments underneath these posts were nuts. People were calling for the trainer to be fired and thrown in jail for trying to kill this man.
He's a very well-respected
He's
trainer.
a well-respected trainer. He's been in MMA for years. He's fought in the past. And what happened was he was just trying to motivate his fighter. That's all it was. It was like, listen, this guy.
Did you watch the fight?
No.
I wonder how bad the dude was getting beat up.
It's not like he was just like getting worked. He wasn't like bloody in danger of like fucking getting his head bashed off. It wasn't like that.
He was just
he was
just knew the
tired.
remainder of the fight. He was just gonna get fucked up. So he's like, I'll just call it now.
He was most likely gonna lose unless he got a knockout. But that's what fighting is. Like you can literally just knock someone out in 2 seconds and win the fight. So like that's why his trainer's saying, go back in there. Like you're a champion. You got this. Like you can still win. And he's just like, no, I'm done. No, I'm done. Call it.
You know what? You know
Call
what
it.
must have sucked the most for that fighter is the fact that like his whole life up to that point, he was probably the best fighter he's ever been
He
around.
was undefeated going into this amateur.
And then he just like realizes his whole life is a lie. Like he's probably based his entire last 15 years around fighting. Goes in, has one fight, gets beat the fuck up, and is like, I'm not cut out for this. You have to change your entire mindset on your life.
Yes.
You've
And
just been
that's
lied
what
to.
I think
Like
the
you're
trainer
adopted.
was trying to get through to him. Like, listen, this is your first UFC fight. Like, he didn't say any of this, but like by saying like you got to go back out there, like you're not going to get another contract.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be a professional fighter, you got to fucking fight.
It's a cutthroat
that's it.
industry.
Literally,
It is, man.
That you know what? When you call yourself a sharp and have animal instincts, when you just said right there might have been the best piece of information you've ever given out. If you want to be a professional fighter, you have to fight.
Love that.
This is your first night at Fight Club. You have to fight. How much better can you end an episode?
If you want to be a professional podcaster, you got a fucking podcast. That's what we did today for y'all. So, if you enjoyed, as always, make sure you hit
Somebody
that thumbs
find
up
me
button.
Janet G's number too, by the way.
Fucking Dacky. I'm
Very attractive.
texting all my exes tonight. Dak Prescott, the woman of my dreams.
You Dak?
Let us know what you think about the women of the NFL quarterback, the women of the night.
Yeah, I'm really curious if anyone else is on the Tannehill train with me because that's it's probably my number one.
You mean Skylar White?
That's my number one right there.
Oh shit!
Woo! That looked like Ryan Tannehill's woman. God damn. No, it did not. I love this apartment building. All right, that's all we got for you today. Make sure you're all subscribed. We will be here every Friday morning. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed. And that's it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
That looks like
Peace. I'm ready to risk it all. I couldn't name a better my type.